is income inequality an issue at all?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think fair income is important. Now, let me make sure I communicate this.
Yeah.
We have more billionaires now in America than we've ever had before through creating new products, new ideas, and being successful in technology age. Right? We're really at a generation of the 21st century. We're at the tip of the iceberg of opportunity. There's a wonderful book called The Second Industrial Age that talks about the two MIT professors about the confluence and congruence, I guess, of data, internet connectivity, and global reach, and how these fantastic ideas are being created and being very disruptive. So I believe that we have more jobs, incomes are going up, and our lifestyle mostly has improved. We're better dressed. Let me tell you, we have better communication. We have more access to education and opportunity. There are some that have not partaken in that, and so you have to acknowledge that and you have to work on that. And so I'm not trying to put a cherry on the sundae. There are issues, but the lifestyle part that concerns me the most is that we're seeing now blackouts of our electrical grid.
Yeah.
We're seeing water reduction in terms of our ability to produce enough and to deliver enough. And I think there's a risk that it's going to actually try to put us back in an era before what we're used to and what we ought to be managing and harnessing our resources in a more productive way. So what I'm concerned about, we have in San Diego from 4 to 9, what they go, power down.
Power down.
And I think, well, okay, fine. I mean, great, sure. But that happens to be prime time when people get off work, come home, make dinner, wash the clothes, take care of the kids. Why are we doing this? Why are we surcharging our hardworking citizens between 4 and 9? Why aren't we figuring out ways to create more efficient energy? And we're not.
Do you agree with scientific consensus? We're in a climate crisis, with some scientists saying we have 10 years to drastically reduce our fossil fuel carbon dioxide pollution before reaching a tipping point of catastrophe. Do you agree with that?
Well, Ken, I think there is a climate change. I mean, you can't not acknowledge that.
Climate change as defined as human driven climate change. Is there human-driven climate change?
I don't know the answer to that.
Why don't you?
Well, because there's science on both sides.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Yeah, there is.
If 97% of doctors said you have cancer, and 3% said you don't, are you going to act on the 3% because you're not sure?
No, Ken. I think it's fair to say that there are scientists who are accomplished who say just the opposite. So I think you have to take all opinions and you have to figure out what makes sense. People have said draconian measures will happen in 10 years. Do you believe that? Do you believe that we'll be underwater in 10 years?
Well, that's not.
There are people who have said that.
There are tipping points in science that are generally horrifying people. How do you communicate your seriousness on climate change to young people who are out in the streets?
I think you do the first thing
ditching school.
You acknowledge it. Well, they may be ditching schools, but that's not going to solve anything. And
I know.
I'm thinking, fine. There is a high anxiety among the younger folks because they're listening to the news reports and they're exposed to this negativity.
Okay.
Now, we want a clean environment. We want renewable energy. Solar, terrific. Right? Wind, terrific. But the wind stops and the sun goes down. So you can't store it all in batteries because we don't have that technology yet. And if you want that technology, you got to mine lithium. If you want lithium, you go to China. Then if you're energy independent today,
or you go to the sea, as 60 Minutes had last time.
Yeah. So that's not the panacea. My point is, we need to study it more, be serious about it, and acknowledge that. So no head in the sand. Absolutely acknowledge it. But let's invest in the R&D to try to resolve that and try to find alternative sources of renewable and clean energy. Stuff that we may not have even discovered yet.
All right.
But to power down and to take our style of living back to horse and buggy is not what I propose. And not what I support. And I'm not a Green New Deal proponent.
Right. Should Trump have started the process of pulling the United States out of the Paris Climate Accord?
Yeah.
He should have.
My response to that is America should have control of its destiny.
Okay.
We are participating in a very large way globally as a country, but the dictates of the climate Paris control had issues with regard to China and a hall pass that they got. Now they say they're complying, but do you believe that? I think we should have our own policy of climate change management and something that is beneficial to us as Americans.